Relation. Developmental biologist Lewis Wolpert said it's the most important time of your life, more important than birth, death, or marriage. Wondering if you've ever done this? I assure you, yes you have. According to prenatal development, gastrulation is the process where an embryo is transferred from a simple ball of cells into a multi-layered organism. It is the formation of you, the very beginning, the forming of your body, of your life. I never knew that there was a special name for this process, but I always marveled at it. When I first saw the ultrasound of my son and heard his heartbeat on the monitor, I was in awe. Conception and the creation of life will always be a miracle to me and an awesome design of God's creation. I want to share this wonderful miracle with you so that you will understand the importance of women having an ultrasound prior to an abortion. This is an opportunity for education. This is a life in their belly and not just a bunch of tissue to discard. Abortion is not a simple medical procedure like removing your tonsils. This is a life, and a woman needs to know all the facts. Virginia needs to pass and support the ultrasound abortion bill. Every life is sacred and has value. I will tell you what happens in the first weeks of gestation. We will then look at abortion, the statistics, the procedures, and who is getting them. Finally, we will examine the responsibility of Christians to support this bill and in the education of others on the destruction of their value on human life, and it's all packaged in the form of abortion and in women's rights. Every life is sacred. Psalm 139, one of my favorite chapters, it talks about God covering you in your mother's womb. That's a special creation of life that God has placed there. In the book, Beginning Life, the author tells us that in the hours after conception, every aspect of their genetic inheritance will be determined. Whether you'll be a boy or a girl, brown or blue eyes, fair or dark, tall or short, every detail from head to toe. By the third week of pregnancy, about 21 days after fertilization and 8 days after taking shape, the heart begins to beat. In the next 4 days, it's going to settle into its rhythm, and it's going to pump blood through those tiny, newly formed vessels. This heart will keep beating for a lifetime. Before birth, this little heart will have beaten over 54 million times. That's according to prenatal development. Abortion is destructive. According to U.S. abortion statistics in 2008, 1.21 million abortions were performed. That's compared to U.S. vital statistics of 4.25 million births in that same year. There are several methods used to abort an embryo. There's the suction or vacuum aspiration. There's the medical RU-486 pill, a DNC, a saline injection, which just eats the little embryo up, a dilation and extraction, and the horrible partial birth abortion. And all of these are procedures that are outlined on abort73.com. All of these procedures are described by abortion clinics as legal medical procedures to remove a pregnancy. The top 3 reasons people give for having an abortion: they have too much work or school or other responsibilities, they can't afford a child, or they don't want to be a single mother, or they can't deal with the baby's father. U.S. abortion statistics state that teenagers obtain 17% of all abortions, and 40% of these say that neither of their parents are aware. Why have an ultrasound prior to abortion? The neoseculars.com says it will make the process longer and will allow a woman more time to think about whether it's the right or best decision. They also state that ultrasound is the best way to prove to a woman that there's an actual child inside of her, even at 6 to 12 weeks, and not just a blob of tissue. And after having an ultrasound, many women will choose life over death for their unborn child, saving many unborn children and protecting women from a choice that they may regret for the rest of their lives. Almost 1/5 of all children conceived in the United States do not take their first breath outside of the womb. Selfish decisions of their mothers terminate their lives. House Bill 462 will require all women seeking an abortion to have an ultrasound prior to their procedure. It's an education and an opportunity for these mothers to understand that the life they're carrying is precious, and it's their responsibility. Legislators need our support. Our mothers did not choose abortion. How many others are not here because their mothers chose abortion? What influences would they have made on society? God values every life, and we need to act on our convictions. Bearing a child is a gift and a miracle. We have discarded too many precious lives. I'll close by leaving you to reflect on this, a wise story by an unknown author. A worried woman goes into her gynecologist's office and says, "Doctor, I have a very serious problem and desperately need your help. My baby is not even 1 year old and I'm pregnant again. I don't want kids so close together." So the doctor said, "Okay, and what do you want me to do?" And she said, "I want you to end my pregnancy, and I'm counting on your help with this." The doctor thought for a little while, and after some silence, he said to the lady, "I think I have a better solution to your problem, and it's less dangerous for you too." She smiled, thinking that the doctor was going to accept her request. Then he continued, "You see, in order for you to not have to take care of 2 babies at the same time, let's kill the one that's in your arms. This way, you could rest some before the other one is born. And if we're going to kill one of them, it doesn't matter which one it is. There would be no risk to your body if you choose to kill this one." The lady was horrified and said, "No, doctor, how terrible. It's a crime to kill a child." And the doctor said, "I agree, but you seem to be okay with it, so I thought maybe it was the best solution." The doctor smiled, realizing he had made his point. He convinced the mom that there was no difference in killing a child that's already been born and the one that's in her womb. The crime is the same. Love says, "I sacrifice myself for the good of the other person." Abortion says, "I sacrifice the other person for the good of myself." Jesus sacrificed himself for the good of sinners. That's perfect love.